finesse shots, controlled sprint. That is the old meta on FC24. So what is the new meta on FC24? That is exactly what we are going to learn today. First up, we have a newly introduced skill move this year on FC24. That is the Flare Nutmeg. Flare Nutmeg and Flare Nutmeg Pass are the most influential weapons even at the highest level of the game. I am talking pro versus pro gameplay, but not many people use it in their game. I rarely come across a player who is using a Flare Nutmeg Pass. So you have to learn the Flare Nutmeg Pass. It is the meta. So how do you actually perform a Flare Nutmeg? It is pretty simple. All you have to do is hold down L1 plus R1 like that, and then flick the right stick towards the direction where you want to exit, right? So we are going like this, and we will just point the right stick wherever we want to exit towards. Now that is the Flare Nutmeg, right? What is the Flare Nutmeg Pass? It is best used on the wings. Basically, you perform a Flare Nutmeg and you cancel the animation by pressing X the moment you do the Flare Nutmeg. So I did a Flare Nutmeg, right afterwards I will press X and that will cancel the nutmeg animation and I will pass the ball. Against good players, it is game changing. Where is it best used? It is best used on the wing. See over here, I am going down the wing. He expects me to go straight. In this game, you have to surprise your opponent, and the best way to surprise him in this moment would be to use the Flare Nutmeg Pass. Especially against good players, you will need to use the Flare Nutmeg Pass when you are on the wings and they expect you to go straight. Now you have a new weapon to use on the wings. Next on our list is the Inverted Trivela. The Inverted Trivela was introduced to me by my good friend Jeppe Oifelt. This is an example from the main man Jeppe himself. As you can see, he faces the far post. Facing the far post is the key. Sometimes you can do it even without the ball roll. Next up, we have crossing. Crossing is the best we have ever seen since FIFA 19. Yes, FC24 crossing is insane and you really need to master it. We are seeing it even at the highest level of the game where pro players are playing Haaland as a winger. Why are they doing so? Because of his aerial ability. As you can see in these clips, crossing is absolutely overpowered and you will score a lot of easy goals, and against drop back players this will help you a lot to score goals. You can see, you might say, well, I don't have Ronaldo. You don't need Ronaldo. The first thing you need is a fullback with the whipped plus play style. Havertz, Bacha, Davies, list goes on. Next up, have a player with decent jumping who is tall. There are many players in the game who can fulfill that role for you, and stick him on the wing, right? As you can see, we have Ronaldo as RF and Ram. What you want to do is, you want to go with L1 square crosses. Once you are in and around this area, even inside the box, you can use it. You are going to use an L1 square LB plus X on the Xbox. It will chip the ball. That is a chip cross. It gives more elevation, harder for the goalkeeper to catch the cross. Put 1 to 1.5 bars of power. And the result will be something like this, but do not botch your time. Finish like I did. And over here, if you are outside, what you want to do is, once again, L1 square with 3 bars of power. Next up on the list, we have player lock fake. Next up, we have the player lock fake. The player lock fake is a game-changing move and you really need to master it. It is the meta right now. You might say, well, everything is meta. No, not everything. We're talking about 4 things over here. Inverted Trivelas, crossing, player lock fakes, and Flare Nutmeg passes. People love my player locking. Thank you so much. And for that very reason, this is the tutorial for you. So how do you perform the player lock? Press in both L3 and R3. Then flick the right stick towards the player you want to pass the ball towards, right? Now, how do you fake it? Well, you cancel it by pressing in R3 and L3 again, right? So like you saw in the example, if you are running down the wings and you have a player towards the inside, you do this. What happens? The opponent tracks the run. Most of the times, most opponents will try to track this run like this. Then you simply cancel it, go straight and go for another option. That gives you the space. At the end of the day, it is all about finding the space, exploiting the space and creating that space. There are times when you don't need to cancel the player lock. If it is working against Tex, why wouldn't it work against the average Joe? 2 versus 1, use the player lock. In previous instances, he faked it. Because he faked it, this time he went with the player lock. It is all about playing chess. Hopefully you learned something new today. Now, if you want to learn even more secrets, then check this video out here.